moms out there, and we should definitely give those moms some credit. It's a lot of work being a mom. And yeah, so wanted to first say that. I'll probably say it a few more times because I know not everyone is on here as of yet. But today's also a special day because, well, and I didn't even plan it this way. I've got an announcement that I'm going to be making here, and I'm going to be sharing with you some of the artwork as well with you guys. So that's what we're going to be talking about. We're also going to be talking about, because I titled this because I think it's important that it's not just about me, it's about you, but growth. It's really about growth and why and when change is good. So why and when is change good? It's a good question. And I'm sure you've probably asked yourself that question at times. You're like, is this the right direction? Do I need to make a move? Do I need to pivot? Is what I worked on before, is that what got me to where I'm going? Probably. So I'm going to talk all about it, and I will share with you all of the details. All right. So before we do get rocking and rolling here this Sunday morning, and this is what, May 10th, we're going to get kicking this thing off. But what I did want to do is I wanted you to do me a favor. And if you are new to this Take Action Morning Show, as we're calling this, and if you are part of the Take Action Morning crew, what I want you to do is I want you to drop it in the comments. Let me know that you're here, but also if you're new, if it's their first time here, let me know that as well. I'd love to give you a little shout out and welcome you to the Take Action Morning Show and part of our crew. What we do here is we hang out, we talk business, we talk life, we inspire, we motivate, we take action. That's it in a nutshell. That's exactly what we do. And that's what we're going to do here today. I'm going to share with you this little bit of a struggle that I had. I don't want to say struggle, just a little bit of like the voices in your head, and I've talked about this many, many times that, when we start to have these feelings of change, right? Who likes change? A lot of times, no, because it's uncomfortable. But when you are doing something and you have a purpose, or you say, you know what, I've been doing that thing for a while now, I think it's time that we need to address those feelings and not ignore them and realize that it might be the time. So I'll explain to you guys this whole reasoning, and so will Maisie. This is live. So Maisie is here, my Bernedoodle, and Brody. So they're saying hello this morning. They're probably saying good morning to my wife because it is Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, by the way. If you're tuning in just now, I already said it before, but I'm going to say it again. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. You guys deserve a lot of credit. So it's a hard job being a mom. And I just wanted to say that you guys are awesome. I really do appreciate all the moms out there, doing what they do for kids, being there, a shoulder to cry on, being at maybe the events or the sporting events or plays, recitals, or maybe the hard times that we have as kids. Some of you may or may not know, if you read my book, you know I lost my mom when she was 50. And, I lost her and I was young. I was, I was only 23, maybe 24. So it was a shock too. But I still remember every day. I have pictures in this office to remind me of her. So I'm thinking of her today. And I know she was the best mom that she could be up until the time she passed. So just wanted to say I appreciate all the moms out there. And I know that it's a vital part of someone's life to have a great mom. And you know what? Sometimes there's people I know that don't have maybe an active mother, but they have a mother role model. And that's okay too, right? Who is yours? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't necessarily, I guess, have to be that, because we all come from different walks of life and different childhoods and all of that stuff. But anyway, just wanted to say, if you are a mom and you are, here, well, happy Mother's Day. All right. So let me go ahead and see who's showing up here today. I didn't even look down here at the comments. Good morning, Karen. Karen is in the house. And Karen, thank you so much for showing up here on Mother's Day. Justin, excited about today's show. Mike, sunny and beautiful here in Tennessee. Ashley, what is up? Good morning from Sacramento, California. So it's 7 o'clock there. Okay. James, good morning. Want to let you know I did the 8 questions we talked about yesterday and did my first video. Yes, that's awesome. And if you guys missed yesterday's episode, you might want to go back and listen to that because we went deep into the why, and you might want to do that exercise. Salama, hello. Change is always good. If you're not changing, you are not growing. Yes, that's from Tony Robbins in my book. Lloyd, good morning, y'all, from Lloyd in UK. Aaron, good morning. What's up, man? Rebecca, good morning to you as well. Hello. My second time joining, but I'm pretty new. Ashley, well, I'm glad that you're back. Longtime listener of the podcast, first Facebook Live. David, oh, cool. I'm glad that you're a longtime listener of the podcast because today it has something to do with the podcast. Okay? It has something to do with the podcast. It has almost everything to do with the podcast. So you're going to want to stay tuned for this. I'm going to share with you a big decision that I made, and it is going to be exciting as well. Yeah, Justin says a lot of crew members here today. Yes, it is. Let's see here. So far, already loving this session. Cool. Jennifer, thank you. Happy Mother's Day to your wife. Thank you. Yes, she is an awesome mom. Good morning. Chris, what's up, man? How are you? All right, cool. So, yes. I do want to give my wife a ton of credit. We're going on this month, 26 years of marriage as well. Happily married, by the way. Love her every single day and every moment. We're still in a love as we were way back when. Been through a lot of stuff, ups and downs throughout the years, but I do believe that that's what shapes us to who we are. And actually, she is one that has always been the voice for me to say, you know what, if this is what you're feeling, you got to go with it. You got to lean into it. You know, it might be 2 steps back to go forward. Now, this decision I'm talking about, not really going to set me back. I mean, could it? Yeah. Could it lose some listeners? Maybe. But in all honesty, it's already been happening. You guys have probably already witnessed a change. If you're a longtime listener, you started listening to the podcast because I was talking about Amazon. In the very beginning, it was all about e-commerce and Amazon. And then if you kind of look at the past year and a half, probably 2 years, it's been all talking about brand building. E-commerce is still in there, but a lot on brand building, a lot about intention, about building email lists, and not just selling, but how do you create a future-proof brand? So all of that stuff has been happening. All right. But the podcast has kind of still been the same entity, if you will. It's the same name, right? And so today it has to do with the name of the podcast. So for the longest time, we're talking over 5 years now, I believe. Gosh, I have to go back and see exactly. We're over 826 episodes. 827 will air tomorrow, and you're going to want to listen to that episode. I'm going to share with you what I'm sharing on that episode, but I go into detail on that one, a lot about just the thought and also the feelings, and I really want people to understand that it's okay to embrace the change. But I needed to do that episode because moving forward after tomorrow's episode, we're going to be calling the podcast something new. It's not changing as far as like we're still going to be, doing the things that we've been doing, although it is going to be 2.0 version. I am going to be doing things purposely, and I'm going to be sharing with you what they are. I'll share with you guys a little bit about that here today. But the reason why it was a big decision is because I was telling people that I wanted to change the name of the podcast. And people were like, why are you changing? Like, it's the brand, the amazing seller. It's the brand. And after, I would say about 3 years of calling it that, people were coming up to me and they're like, hey man, thanks so much for getting me started on Amazon. Hey, thanks so much. I listened to your podcast and it got me started on Amazon and now I'm doing 7 figures and it's awesome. And I got a whole wall behind that camera that has letters and cards and thank yous and a whole bunch of people that have really created successful businesses and launched successful businesses because of that. But it's always been the thread of Amazon and e-commerce. And so what I've wanted to do is I've always wanted to be able to go wider and be able to talk about things. I've been building businesses long before the podcast. I've built brick and mortar. I've built digital online businesses. I've built membership sites outside of anything like make money. It's always been in the photography space. So I've done it. I've got a lot of knowledge there just from, good old fashioned get in there and do it, like being in the trenches. So because of that, I have a lot more to offer. And so I don't want to be just in that one area where I have to talk about this stuff, right? Like I have to only stay on that topic. And I've already since done it. But when I want to get other guests on the show, like I want to get, and I'm going to share with you something here, like this here, okay? This book right here. I'm going to read something out of this here today too. But this here was, my wife had gotten this for me. The author is John Gordon, and he also wrote The Energy Bus, which I also wrote. He also wrote The Carpenter, which I just finished. But this is a book. It's co-authored by Daniel Decker and John Gordon. It's just stay positive. Encouraging quotes and messages to fuel your life with positive energy. So every day, one page gets read, just one page. That's it. Okay. And I just really, really like John Gordon. And I said, you know what? I want to be able to get him on the podcast. But how do I get someone like that on the podcast when if all I'm talking about is Amazon and e-commerce, right? Like, how does that have anything to do with that? So because of the name, it's even like I can't reach out to certain people because it just seems kind of weird, right? He's not about necessarily selling, but when I say the amazing seller, it sounds like all I'm talking about is like selling, right? And that's not what I want this to be about. So I talked about this yesterday a little bit, is that this came to me like, where do you want to be in 5 years, Scott? Like what got me here doesn't mean it's going to get me there. And the same thing goes for you. What you're working on right now is to prepare you for where you're going or the next move. That next move might be your next business, or maybe it's just building the skill sets so you can build the next business or the next move, right? And so I don't look at anything as a waste. If I didn't do that, again, let me reference this. The Take Action Effects book. This never would have happened if I hadn't started that podcast with the name, The Amazing Seller. Never would have happened. So I am very grateful that I started and I took action. And that's what I talk about in this book a lot, is about taking action. And then those moments that you take action will then bring you into the next moment. It might be 3 to 5 years later, but it's all part of the journey, right? And so basically, you have to listen to that, right? So it was clear to me because once I started wanting to reach out to other guests, my goal is to get all of these other guests that I want to meet personally, and I want to be able to bring them to my audience. And I want that to also widen the audience a little bit. So this way here, I can reach more people and help more people and serve more people. That's what it's about for me. Right? The money will come. I'm not worried about that. I'm not thinking about how would I monetize that, all of that stuff. I don't worry about that. This podcast, The Amazing Seller, up until now, okay, that there was all just going out there and helping people in the e-commerce Amazon space, right? And because of that, I showed up just with the intent to basically build attention and an audience to help people. That was it. I had no idea how I was going to monetize it. I had no idea. But here's the deal. I've monetized other audiences in the past. So I knew that if you get the attention, then the monetization shows itself, right? That's why I never focus on that has to be the main driver. I don't ever want that to be the main focus. I want to come from a place of giving and serving, but also you need to validate that the market would buy something, right? So I know that, yes, if I have someone on like John Gordon, which I actually have an interview scheduled to him next week, which is going to be awesome. So I'm excited because now I don't have to only talk about e-commerce all the time. Now, how would I incorporate, okay, someone like John Gordon on the show? Well, number one, I want to know his story. I want to know his steps on the ladder that got him to where he is, because he didn't just wake up one day and become John Gordon and write 20 books, right? He didn't do that. What he did was he did something that if he hadn't done it, he wouldn't have moved to the next place that he was supposed to be. So really what I want to do now on this 2.0 version of the podcast, which I will let you guys know the name here, and I'm going to show you the new artwork. Okay. That is the big announcement, by the way. We're changing the name of the podcast. Okay. It's going to stay on the same feed. Okay. But that episode that I air tomorrow will basically be announcing that from that point forward, we are not going to be calling it The Amazing Seller anymore. Okay. So anything in the past, you can go back, you can listen to the old episodes. They're still good, right? It's just the branding of the podcast is changing. Okay. Also, we're going to be doing something a little bit different, a little bit more structured. So Mondays are going to be always either a solo episode with me on a tactic or a strategy, business related type thing, right? Wednesday will always be an expert interview or someone that I want to interview for myself to learn from, but then bring that to my audience. All right. And then Fridays are going to be now what is going to be called. And yesterday I alluded to it. And Friday we did our first one, and you guys didn't even realize it really. It's called Friday Jam Session. And it'll make sense here in a minute on why we're calling it that. But Friday Jam Sessions are going to be all about Q&A. So me showing up, and we are going to do a live Q&A here on the Take Action Morning Show. Okay. And we're going to answer all of your questions. That will turn into Friday's episode the following week. Okay. So this way here, I've been doing 3 episodes every single week for just about 5 years. 820, it'll be 827 episodes, 16 million downloads, by the way, which is great. And I love it. It's great. I'm reaching a lot of people. I want to reach more. Okay. And not because of money, because I want to make impact. I want to serve more people. I want to be able to show up and be that voice for that person, right? Or that person that gets them, that's been there, not someone that just, you feel like, oh, they're just, they're just out there trying to make a buck, or, oh, they're out there and maybe they don't explain things simplified, and maybe I can break it down for you. So that's really what I'm after. Okay. It's about reaching more people, because my legacy, let's call it, I want it to be more than just telling people that you can sell on e-commerce and Amazon. Like, I want more than that. And this move here will allow me to do that. Okay. And I'm really excited that you guys are here because, this whole Take Action Morning Show, which wasn't called Take Action Morning Show until probably a week ago, we've kind of named it that now. And you guys are the Take Action Morning crew. It just feels cool. It feels awesome. I love it. And I'm going to keep showing up here. This is easy to me. Like, this here is easy to me because I'm hanging out with the right people. It doesn't matter that it might only be 30 people right now. It could be 300. It could be 3,000. I don't care. I'm going to come up with this. I'm going to come out with the same energy and the same attention to whoever is showing up. And I think this is a lesson for you, that whatever you're doing in your business, you should do the same. You should always show up with the same amount of help and support and, just ease of use, or a great experience on a website, whatever it is, you want to do that. You want to do that for your customers and for your people. And I'm telling you right now, the word will spread. I'm going to share with you also, not today, but in another episode, a lot of my takeaways from the book, The Carpenter, from John Gordon. Great book, great lessons. And it just goes with me because I was a carpenter. I was a contractor years ago. So it really resonated with me. But so we are, Nigel, don't give it away. Nigel says, Scott, the new title brand definitely suits your image. Gives me a thumbs up. Cool. Well, I'm going to share that with you guys. And then I also, I guess what I would also love for you guys to do is, before we do announce this, I want you to do something, because I think this is important. I'm gonna read that one thing that I wanted to with you guys. I think it'll be helpful. I actually read this to my family here this morning as well, but this is what I read this morning after my walk. So it was one thing, and basically it just says, become a gratitude magnet. When you are grateful for the things in your life, big and small, you always seem to find more things to be grateful about. Abundance will flow into our life when gratitude flows out of our heart. It's basically being grateful. What are you grateful for? So do that for me. Quick little time for me to have a sip of coffee and you guys to let me know, what are you grateful for right now? It doesn't have to be massive. What's something small that you're grateful for right now that you can say, you know what? I am very grateful for X. What is that? Drop it in the comments. I would love to see it. Let's do a little bit of this back and forth stuff. I would love to see that. And then what I will do is I will share with you guys the new name of the podcast, and I can answer any questions you have on that decision, and we can talk more about it. I did go through a little bit of the back and forth. I wanted to do this over a year ago, and we can definitely talk about that. All right. I see some coming in here. Mike says, grateful for you, honestly. Well, thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. That feels good. I appreciate that. Salma says too, I am grateful for the coffee chat. You being of service every day. Awesome. Stumbling onto TAS for sure. You know, the funny thing is too, check this out, guys. Lloyd, this is funny that you put that in there. TAS. TAS stands for the amazing seller, right? Guess what else it stands for? Take Action Show. See how that works? I didn't even know that. My wife actually brought that to my attention. I'm like, yeah, now everybody's going to be saying TAS or whatever. It's Take Action Show. Oh, it's funny. Jennifer, this talk right now, it's confirming the page I'm on. Grateful. Awesome. Not going to a traditional 9-to-5 job. Yeah, that's something to be grateful for, huh? Life. I'm grateful for my family and friends. I'm grateful for the life I have. This is beautiful to be in this conversation, Aaron. Ashley, grateful for my family and definitely grateful for the mom recommended this show to me. Oh, awesome. That's awesome. That is something to be grateful for. And also it's really cool that she did that. James, I'm very grateful for my family. We are very close. That is awesome. Yeah. Time, guys. There's nothing out there that we can do to get our time back. There's nothing. So we need to make sure that when we're using that time, we're doing it in a productive way. And we're also surrounding ourselves with positive energy, right? And we're not just wasting time when we're not negative. Have access to clean drinking water, 2 square meals a day. I have had a great childhood. I'm grateful for everything. Yeah, that's awesome. And you know what? Sometimes we just have to do that. We have to go through that exercise. I'm grateful for my family today. I'm grateful for that. I have a supportive husband that is standing by me while I build my business. Yeah, it's important. That's important to have a supporting spouse or partner or just friend. That is huge. Massive to have that kind of support. It truly, truly is. And you know what? I want you guys to just give yourself a lot of credit right now because you're here on a Sunday morning or Sunday night if you're in Australia, Justin. And like right now, you know, you are here, right? And I believe you're here for a reason, right? And so whatever that is, if it's that one little spark that got you to get out of a funk or to get you to take action on the thing that you've been putting off for so long. I've been putting off this decision to rebrand the podcast for over a year and a half. I've been having talks with people privately, my wife. It's just never, ever, it's not felt right over the past year and a half of not being able to call myself something else. Now, let me just give you a little bit of a backstory. All right. So I'm going to rewind a little bit. Okay. So last year, okay, we created an event called Brand Accelerator Live. Now that was done purposely. Okay. The word brand is in there. Okay. So probably about a year and a half, 2 years before we decided to do that, probably a year before that, I had conversations with my coaches, my own coach. I have, I have Jamie Masters, who's now a friend, but I consider her a coach because she basically gets me clear every single time I have an issue like this, right? Where I'm thinking something or I'm doubting something. I'm not sure which way to move. You need people like that. And then Pat Flynn, I reached out to him and I was just feeling this whole, like, I don't want to be known as this. I want to be known for this, right? So I don't want to be known as the Amazon guy. I want to be known as the brand building guy that also got you to take massive action. Like, that's what I want to be known for. Like, that's who I want to be known for and really lead people in that direction, right? And so when I had these conversations, it was like, okay, well, I got to start really letting people know that that's what I am about. Well, how do I do that? Well, if you notice, if you go back to the podcast, you can almost see it where I started to talk more and more and more about brand building, right? I do videos. I'd be like, hey, welcome back to another brand building tip, right? So it's all brand building. And then it's, let's talk about, how to get attention in your brand. Let's talk about how to build your future-proof brand. On the book, right? We have here, Proven Steps to Build a Future-Proof Business and Create Your Ultimate Freedom, right? It's all about building a business, not an Amazon business, right? So all of that stuff was by design, right? And I did it over time. And so now I put out this event called Brand Accelerator Live. Now, as you know, some of you know, I have an academy called Brand Creators Academy. I bought the domain brandcreators.com. And that there was just a place for the academy, but I was still publishing on the Amazing Seller podcast that was also getting published to the Amazing Seller blog, right? And so now after you have all of this information, you're like, well, what do I do? You know what I mean? Like, I got all this, I got these things over here. I got these things over here. The final piece was the podcast name. Okay. So you might think, well, Scott, is the new name Brand Creators Podcast? Thought about it, thought about calling it the Take Action Show, which we kind of are doing here in the morning. So I kind of get to do both now, right? But no, I didn't think so because I still want people to know that it's about building a business and building a brand. But I still want the opportunity to bring on guests that share their success on building their brands and really, building an awesome business, right? So I wanted that flexibility. So that's why now we're going to do Mondays are going to be always a lesson, a training, a strategy, something that I've uncovered or something that I've tested, something that worked, something that didn't work, all of that stuff. Wednesday will always be a guest, okay? And that could be a guest interview like a John Gordon, that's a best-selling author that has helped people build their businesses through mindset and really like positive thinking, or someone that's went and built a brand from scratch, whatever, playing guitar or whatever, right? Like, I actually got one guy coming on who I was introduced by my son. His name is Colin, and he runs a very, very popular YouTube channel, over 900,000 subscribers for shop mechanics. And I just interviewed him. He's going to be one of our guests on that spot, but he's got a great story. And I always ask in these interviews, what was your take action moment? And that's a big one because I want to hear that. I want to hear what is one thing that you did that changed everything. And you're going to continue to have those. So that's what I'm really excited about. And then now these Friday jam sessions. So, all right. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready to know what the new name is? Does anybody have an idea other than the people that are here that are in Brand Creators Academy? Because I let them know on Friday, which, by the way, they were stoked. They were excited and they thought it was a perfect move. So I'd be curious. Let me take another sip of coffee. I see some more grateful stuff coming in here too. Let's see. Powerful statement. Grateful for my family and my health. Also grateful for the value you bring us. Thank you. Nigel, I'm grateful for your continued support through BCA, Brand Creators Academy, even though I'm not able to work on my brand at the moment for health reasons, but you're continuing to inspire me till I can. Yeah. And I wish you all the best. And Jennifer says, yes, already. I did this the other day to Brand Creators Academy too. You gotta bring it up to that point, right? I mean, it's kind of like you're watching American Idol or you're watching any of those, right? After the break. You should interview the guy from, what is that? Tea and Leaf? Huh. I'll, Justin, you can always send me an email with a recommendation, for sure. Okay, cool. I think it's time. I think it's time that I reveal this. I'm going to actually show you guys the artwork and then we will talk about it. All right. So I'm not just going to come out and say the name. I'm going to go ahead and share the graphic, the new artwork. And then from there, we'll go ahead and we'll say it. New name, Freedom Business. Pretty good, but no, It is not. All right. And I'll tell you guys after I announce this to you guys, I'll tell you how it all ties together. Okay. All right. On the count of 3, I should probably do this. Let's see. Oh man, I'm a little nervous to share it with you guys. All right. Here we go. You guys deserved it though. You guys are here on a Sunday morning. You guys are diehards. You guys are the Take Action crew, which we talked about getting some shirts for that because that'll be amazing. But all right, here we go. Are we ready? On the count of 3. Ready? Let's count down. 3, 2, 1. Boom. There it is, guys. The name of the show is going to be the Rock Your Brand Podcast. Now, for any of you that know me and know my story, years ago, when I was about 18 years old, I wanted to be a rock star. And I gave up that dream because, well, I had to get with reality. And so now what we decided to do is Brand Creators is going to be our main hub. Okay. So Brand Creators will be our main hub. Okay. That's what we do. We help people build brands. We are going to be talking all about how other successful people built brands. And then the Rock Your Brand Podcast is just an extension of that. So I've got a new intro that I recorded. It's pretty awesome. It's high energy. That will be aired not tomorrow. I'll air that on Wednesdays. Tomorrow is just the announcement, kind of like I did here, but it's actually, I think it's about 15-20 minutes. Yeah, I see it. You guys are loving it. Awesome. Loved it. Yeah, cool. Ashley says, love it. Awesome. Awesome. Nailed it, Mike says. Awesome. Salama. Lloyd. Now the jam makes sense. Exactly. Jennifer, you do rock. Thank you. Yeah. So Fridays are now called the Friday Jam Session. That's where we jam. Now, we don't play instruments. We could, but yeah, now it is Friday is going to be the Friday Jams. So we are going to title it that. There's some other cool things that we can do with play on words and stuff like that. But it'll be a lot of fun. It's a lot of me. Okay. And it just feels I could go with this name for the rest of my life because it is me to the core. Now it doesn't mean that, we're going to just talk about rock music because that's not it at all. But what I will say is people that are, because I was asked this question by one of my mentors, was like, what does rock music or being a rock star mean to you? And I'm like, well, it's different now than it used to. But now what it means is it really means freedom, right? Because if you're a rock star, you're not necessarily making a lot of money, maybe ever, unless you make it big, right? But you're living out your dream and you're doing what you love and you're being in front of people and inspiring people or motivating people or inspiring people through your music, right? So what I want to do is I want this to be a channel. I want this to be a podcast that helps people build a brand and rocks their brand, right? So rock your brand, right? So if I said to someone now, they go, hey, so what do you do? I'm like, I've got a podcast. I help people build businesses. And the name of it is Rock Your Brand. You'd be like, oh, that makes sense, right? Has nothing to do with Amazon, although Amazon can be a part of it because Amazon is a sales channel, right? Etsy is a sales channel, right? eBay is a sales channel, right? So it can be added in there. But the other thing is I can have someone on like Jordan Harbinger. Like he's a guest that I have booked that we're going to have on the show. He's not about really necessarily about just building a business online, although he's recreated himself just recently from a show that he got. Actually, him and his partner, their partners, they had a separation and he had a major podcast and he had to start over again, right? So I'm going to talk about that with him, right? How do you get through that? How do you look at someone that you feel is successful? And then how did they get through that? What was their take action moment? How did they build their brand? And their brand could be selling physical products. It could be selling digital products, or it could be like building their podcast. Like, I don't care what it is. You still had to go through those struggles and those times of doubt. How did you do it? I want to learn from them and I want to share that with my audience. So one episode a week will be dedicated to an interview. every single week. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the same schedule. Fridays will now be called the Friday Jam session. And then Mondays will be always some form of training or strategy, or maybe an update, a case study on something that I am talking about to help you build your brand, right? So Rock Your Brand is the new podcast. The colors, someone had said, love the lightning bolt, love the colors. Letitia, yeah. It took a little while. We played with all different colors. And I actually thought that we were going to go with yellow. And then I looked at it like 3 days later. I'm like, I don't really like it. I don't think I like that. I don't think it doesn't feel right. And then we went with this, and it just feels right. Everyone I show it to loves the green. Loves the green. It's just a different type of green. It's not like a fluorescent-y green necessarily, but it's a cool green to me. Anyway, it's cool. But yeah, I'm really, really excited about it. And I'm excited about this here because I don't know where this is going to go, guys. I really, truly don't. I don't know where these coffee talks, the Take Action Morning Show, is going to go. All I know is I'm having fun doing it. I'm going to keep doing it. So if you guys want to stay part of the Take Action crew, just show up here, 10 a.m. Eastern time. This will be your daily dose of some Take Action stuff, right? Where we can get out there, we can get inspired, motivated, and we can talk business too. Like, I have no problem doing that. I love it. And I love the questions that you guys you're asking on a daily basis as well. But yeah, I truly appreciate all of the feedback, guys. Perfect. Karen says, love the lightning bolt. James says, and then Rock Your Brand podcast with Scott V. Yeah, it's funny. A lot of people used to, if Gary V didn't come out with Gary V, I probably would have went as Scotty V, because I was always, my friends used to always say Scotty V. So I would have probably went with that, but now because Gary V is so big and everything, I said, I can't really do that. That would be almost, it would look like I was copying, and I don't want to do that. Lloyd says, RYB, it's more than a feeling. Nice. Rebecca, sounds fantastic. Yes, it does. And it feels great. And I appreciate every one of you for being here to really be in this moment with me, because this is a moment. I'm going to look back at this moment and know that that was a pivotal moment for me, or pivotal moment for me. I know it will be. So again, I'm just sharing this with you guys because I do want you guys to understand that you're going to be faced with things like this, that you're going to, I questioned this for 1.5 years. Okay. Literally, I questioned it for 1.5 years, and it just did not feel right, but I didn't know what it was supposed to be. Now I do. It took 1.5 years to figure that out. Okay. But now it feels like, oh, all right. Now I can move forward. Now we can go ahead and we can just close that chapter and start the new. And the podcast, I mean, really isn't changing all that much. It's already changed. You guys changed with it, with me. Anyone that's been listening for a long period of time, you've already changed with me. The people that only wanted Amazon stuff, they've already left, and that's okay. I'm fine with that, because I'm only attracting the people that I want to attract right now, that are going in the direction that I'm going. And that's how you should feel as well. So it's hard because you feel like, oh, I'm going to lose people. Yes, you will, but you're going to gain people too, right? And the right people that you want to be around. And like that quote said, be a gratitude magnet, right? Be a gratitude magnet, right? Be a magnet to the people you want to serve and that you want to surround yourself with. So really, really important. Can I take a dive into designing your artwork differently? You can try, but I'm kind of in love with this. I got to be honest. But yeah, by all means, if you want to come up with something, or even a t-shirt design, I've got some ideas there. But yeah, we spent some time on this, and I like the design. And actually everyone I show it to loves it. So, but of course, like, hey, why not? But anyway, guys, do you have any questions for me before we wrap up here? I know we went a little bit longer here today. If you have any questions for me on just the change thing, or a pivot, or anything like that, I can stay on for about 5 more minutes, and then we do have to jump. Justin says, that is why it is important to start off with a broad brand name from the beginning, even if we start off by niching down. Yes, that is 100% true. And again, I don't know that I would have changed anything, though. I don't think that I would have changed that name. or went with something different, because I wouldn't have come up with this. And I believe that this here came because of the other. But I do agree with you. Yeah. And see, I like the artwork as well. I just want to give you a different perspective. If I design, how do I send it? What is your email? Yeah, right now, currently, you can just actually email it. Or why don't you just send it through Facebook or even YouTube? I think you can message me through YouTube. Do it through there. My new emails aren't set up yet. They will be today. And everything is going to be transitioning here over the next probably 3 or 4 days. So the amazingseller.com the blog and the podcast feed and all that stuff is pretty much going to stay there. The blog will probably stick around for about a month, and then everything is going to be ported over to brandcreators.com. And then that will be the central hub. And then Rock Your Brand will be just an extension of that. And then we will have Brand Creators Academy. And then now also this Take Action Morning Show will be something that I will probably have listed there, because this is going to be a part of what I do. So yeah. So yeah, cool. Okay. Yeah. Send it through Facebook if you want to. But guys, all right, cool. So if you don't have any other questions for me on this here, tomorrow, I did talk about this the other day. I already have what I want to talk about. Because I did the first part I did on Saturday. Yesterday, we did the 8 questions to your why, which if you missed that, make sure, I'm going to put it up right here. Make sure on YouTube, you're going to see it right here. I'm going to put that video from yesterday right here. Or if you're watching this months later, the video is going to be here. And the reason why I'm doing that is because it's important that you go through that 8-question exercise to your why. Really, really powerful. Super, super powerful. So make sure that you do that, guys. All right. It's a huge, huge thing that you should be doing. It will make things a lot clearer for you. Tomorrow, though, we're going to talk about moving the needle, how to get massive results in your business and life. And I've got an exercise that I want you to do. And I'm telling you right now, it's going to take that shiny object stuff and get it out of the way. And we're going to focus in on movement. All right. And we're going to take that and take all our energy and focus on that. And we're going to create a process and a system to really make it so you don't have to do all that work either, but it's really those fine adjustments that make big, improvements on your business. So stick around for that one tomorrow. That's what we're going to be talking about. Move the needle, how to get massive results in your business and your life. That's coming tomorrow. I've got an exercise for you to go through. I think it'll be very valuable for you guys, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. And last but not least, if you want me to discuss something on an upcoming coffee talk, all you need to do is let me know. You can drop it in the comments on this one here. I will go back and read it, or my YouTube guy, Jimmy the Shark, who's either listening or watching, he will pick up on whatever you drop in there, and then we will see if it makes a good topic to talk about that others will benefit from, and then we'll consider doing that as a coffee talk on the Take Action Morning Show. All right. So actually, Justin says we could use this morning show to recommend guest speakers. You absolutely can. If you have anyone that you would like me to interview on the Rock Your Brand podcast, let me know. Drop it in the comments. That's a great idea, Justin. Great idea. And then we can go ahead and we can start reaching out if we think it's a good fit. My wife is actually doing all of the outreach for me. She's doing an amazing job. We've got some amazing guests lined up. And I can't wait for you guys to be able to hear from these guests. And it's just going to be really, really cool. So that is going to wrap up this Sunday edition of our Take Action Morning Show Coffee Talk. And thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. And also thank you so much for being so supportive. And, I want to be here for you, and I appreciate that you're here for me. So I truly, really do appreciate each and every one of you. All right, guys. So again, make sure that you share this with a friend. If you think that they would get benefit from sharing or for showing up on our little morning coffee talks, definitely invite them. You can send them an email. You can share it on Facebook. You can share it on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel. That way you get notified, and turn on that bell. They want you to turn on the bell, so that way there you get notified. All right, so that's it, guys. Have an awesome, amazing day, and also happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Take a little bit of time for yourself. Sit back, relax. Maybe take a nice walk, maybe by yourself or maybe with a loved one. Just take some time for yourself. You deserve it. All right, guys, as always, take care, take action. I'll talk to you soon. Now let's get out there and rock your brand. There you go.